I had a tear where the baby came out from, and I had a tear in my bum also that they didn't know. So they checked me and said that I had a fistula, that's a tear in my bum also. And to treat that, is that they stitched me there again, or I just, there's some medications they can use to make it heal and all. My journey to being a mother started, I think, about May 2016. I think then I wasn't feeling well also, if I can remember correctly. Or I had some form of medical issue or something. Well, nothing too serious, but I went to the hospital then, and I remember the doctor saying that he was going to run through some procedures and all that to make sure that, there was nothing wrong, just to check different things. So he said that one of the tests he was going to do was pregnancy test. So I said, okay, no problem. And he came back, is it the same day or the next day? Anyway, he came back and he said, unfortunately, we will not be able to go ahead with the other procedures I wanted to do because you are pregnant. I was like, oh, interesting. I was happy. I went back to the car, called my husband, we prayed. We were happy about it, very thankful. This was about a year after we were married, so it was like well-timed. I think I had a fairly smooth pregnancy, I would say. The beginning was the usual nausea and all. I didn't have any throwing up episodes. I don't think I did. I don't remember having, maybe once. But otherwise, nausea, feeling irritated a lot. I know I told my husband to stop using quite a number of his perfumes because I kept on being irritated by them. Even when I get to work, some people had perfumes. I'm like, I couldn't stand all of that. But pregnancy-wise, it was fine. All my tests were fine. And the baby progressed rapidly as expected, thankfully. Okay, like I said, my pregnancy journey was all smooth through the months. My checks, everything was fine. And I had to travel at a point to go and have my baby, and even that too was fine. People were wondering, because I traveled quite late in pregnancy, they were wondering how was I going to cope, manage with the journey and all, but I was able to, and it was fine. Got over there and registered at the hospital shortly after. Then my checks at the hospital too went smooth. So I would say my whole 9 months, I didn't have any, gory story or any deep challenges. Then towards the birthing day itself, towards the day I had my child, that day I just felt like, what, today should just be the day, because I was getting tired of carrying the baby. I was fit, I was doing different things, but I just wanted this to happen that day. So I remember 7 or 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. that day, I felt like there was just pressure down there, and I was like, what, I think this is it. Called my husband, called my brother, because I was staying with my brother. I was with my brother. My brother and my husband, called them and said, let's start preparing to go to the hospital. I didn't have heavy contractions at that point. Like you're told that, wait till you have heavy contractions before you come to the hospital. I didn't really have heavy contractions then, but I kept timing it. But when I felt like it was getting too late and I didn't want us to leave the house too late, so this was about, journey to the hospital would take us 40 minutes. So I think we left the house about past 8. I know I'd prepared the car just in case. I'd put nylon wraps and everything in the car just in case maybe the water broke or something started happening in the car. I prepared myself for the journey, took my bag, we went. So in the car, the contractions started becoming more frequent, and we got to the hospital and they checked me and they said I was just 3 centimeters dilated, and that usually they will send, you back home at that point. But since I had come from, my journey was long and all that, they would take me in and just let me progress through the pregnancy. So I was still feeling okay. The contractions were coming here, there, just fine. Then, I remember before then, as I was signing in for my records in the hospital and all that, I told them I wanted a natural birth. I didn't want any assisted, help in for the birthing experience. I didn't want any epidural. I didn't want pain relief. I just wanted it to be natural. And let me just go back a bit. When I was looking for the hospital I wanted to have my baby in, I told my husband that I was looking for a birth center. A birth center is not a hospital. It's just a place where people that want to have natural births go to, their midwives and just people that will just do all the natural things to calm you down, all that. So I said I wanted to have my baby at the birthing center. My husband was like, no way, that it was too risky and all that. Okay, so we settled for the hospital. So at the hospital now, I said I wanted a doula. A doula is someone that will help you, make you comfortable and just assist you, just like your personal aid or assistant through the birth. So she came in, she said, do I want a water bath? I said, yes. I was still feeling on and off contractions. It wasn't that intense. So I went in for the water bath. I remember when the next stage of contractions started, I didn't know when I threw up and I just jumped out of the water that this is not a matter of water bath, or it was now so intense and so painful. Like, I just didn't know what was happening anymore. I threw up everywhere in the bathroom. I just jumped out of the bathroom like, no, I can't just stay still. Then she started calming me down more that, okay, now I'm entering the next stage. And I know from that time on, it just became drama upon drama. She had asked me then that, do I now want pain relief or anything like that? I said, no, that I think I can still bear it. But the pain started coming in back to back. They gave me the air mask. I said this wasn't working. They gave me a mild pain relief. I said it wasn't working. They gave me the birth ball for me to just, do some massages and all that. I was like, no. And before then, the person to give the epidural had come in and asked if I wanted. I said, no, that I didn't want the epidural. That was fine. But at that point, I started begging them to call the man in that, please, I need the epidural. I think then it was attending to some other people. I was begging for epidural because it was now more intense. I think now I was, okay, they checked me when I came in. Then the next time they checked me was, I think, towards the point of birth. So then I was just uneasy. I was shouting. I was, asking for epidural, And finally, the epidural guy came, and I was like, just do it. I didn't even feel the pinch of the epidural or anything. It was just the pressure, the pressure was just now so intense. So I got the epidural, and I remember I was waiting for it to just kick in. So I was just waiting for the epidural to kick in. Then at that point, they checked me again and said that, oh, we are now 10 cm dilated. I was like, oh, perfect. And that was when the epidural had kicked in. So I didn't even feel the whole process of, okay, come on the bed, push and all that. It was like fantastic. So they taught me how to push because now I couldn't feel my limbs from way down. So they taught me how to push. The baby came out. And I think that was when my own drama now started after the birth. Because I had the baby, I think I had 2nd degree tear. I didn't even feel it because I didn't feel I was pushing the baby out. So I had the 2nd degree tear, and I was stitched. Then I remember at a point I think I was seeing different things because I told them I was carrying the baby. They gave me the baby after having the baby. Then I just told them that I couldn't see anybody again, that they should take the baby from me. So I think then I was sleeping away. I don't know what happened. Then I just told them I couldn't see anything. At the point I wasn't even talking. So my husband alerted them and said that she's drowsy, or I can't remember. I don't know what was happening. All I remember was that they put something in my nose for me to sniff, and I sneezed. After sniffing that, then that was what brought me back. So they thought that probably was something with the epidural or maybe my blood pressure, I don't know. But that episode went, I was stitched. Then I stayed in the hospital for about 2 days. Then I went home. Then the healing process was drama. Where I was, I didn't have like the kind of usual support system you have. My mom, family members coming. Yeah, I was with family members, but that kind of the Nigerian setting where you have everybody supporting you and helping you. So it was me, my baby, my brother's family. My husband had left at that time, and my healing was such that I had a tear where the baby came out from, and I had a tear in my bum also that they didn't know that I had a tear there. So they kept on waiting for me to, go to the bathroom after the birth, go to the bathroom. They gave me softeners and all that, but I think the first episode of going to the bathroom after the birth was like I was having another baby again. It was like it was just pain, just deep pain. Like, what is this? Then after I couldn't, they told me to do this sit bath, sit in water, and all that and all that. But after a while, I just felt like this wasn't normal. It wasn't normal. And anytime I wanted to go to the bathroom, it was war, it was pain. And I went back to the hospital at a point. I told them that I don't think everything is fine. So they checked me and said that I had a fistula, that's a tear in my bum also. And to treat that, is that they stitched me there again, or I just, there's some medications they can use to make it heal and all. But I was due to come back to Nigeria, so they advised me to just keep taking the softeners and wait till I come back to Nigeria. Then I go to my hospital and let them treat it. So it was just, I'd had the baby, so I'm like, what kind of other episode is this? Nobody really tells you about the afterbirth, if there's anything about you healing, and all that. They just tell you that when the baby comes and it's like, nothing happened. But I didn't feel that way. But I thank God for God's grace and God's faithfulness all through the period. And I came back, and I was always trying not to go to the bathroom. So I would read. I wasn't eating so that I won't eat, and I'll have the pressure to go to the bathroom. And I know that I had to go to the hospital. So we went to the hospital. The doctor checked me in Nigeria. It was a very gruesome check. You had to check, and because I wasn't really stooling well, so they had to manually bring out. It was, I don't know. It was horrible. They had to manually bring out, the stool and all that, because it was just like everything was just stuck inside you from that. So I was like, why would birth cause this kind of thing at the end of the day? I've had the baby, and even the place where they stitched for the baby was healing up fine, and there was this other thing. And they explained to me that sometimes when you have so much pressure down there from pushing and all that, that it probably affected me all the way down there, and it caused the tear. And I was like, this is just something else. So they told me about the stitching episode, that I could get stitches, but that's I couldn't comprehend the fact that I'll be stitched in my bum. I said, no way. So they told me there was another thing they could do, like a very mild surgery. So I had a mild surgery where, they had to extract different things around there. So they had to do the mild, well, I don't know the medical term. It was an operation. Okay, they said it was an evacuation. So they had to do an evacuation. I was sedated. I was taken to the theater. I was sedated. So they had to completely take out all the feces that had dried up, that had just been there, because I couldn't really go to the bathroom. It was just nightmare, to go to the bathroom then. So they had to do all that for me, then start me on a treatment plan, to make sure that I don't stress the area and it heals properly, and I could go back to my normal self. So they did all that. I went through the operation and I came out. I know that I felt, pain. It wasn't so bad. I thought I was going to have deep pain after the surgery and everything, but it wasn't so bad. I came back, started using the medication. I was very, very devoted to the medication, and I was still not eating because I didn't want to eat anything so I was probably taking pap and a lot of vegetables, F4, mom still make F4 and everything. And I was just in there for drinking water and making sure that my system was free of all this. But after a while, to God's glory, after a while I started to heal gradually, and thankfully, I think it took me I had my baby in February, on the 24th of February, so maybe February, March, April, about April, May, before I knew that, I was completely healed. So I think there are different things during during birth and after birth, some people have very difficult pregnancy periods for the 9 months, and after that they come out from it and they're fine. Some people have difficult the healing process is just another thing entirely. I know I didn't have any problem with my tummy going back flat and all that. It was just not knowing that there was something about other kind of pains that could come after the birth. So I'm thankful to God I have a daughter now. She's 3 and I feel all fine. So for other women, trusting God for pregnancy or that are pregnant already and wondering what it's going to be like, I think every woman has different experiences. No two women have the same kind of experiences. So just trust God and, have your confessions. I had confessions I was saying about how I wanted my birth to go and all that. Have your confessions, encourage yourself, pray for your child, and always read. I knew that I was always reading about the whole thing, because anytime I go to the doctor's office and they say one thing, I'm like, oh, does it mean this? So what happens after this? And I felt like, oh, okay, so you know a lot about your body. I said, yes, I'm always reading and trying to find out what this is. I think what happened to me, I just never saw that. Even in the books, I never saw that there was something about you having a fistula after birth. I didn't see that. I knew that some people had hemorrhoids and all, but I didn't know that you could have a tear all the way down there. But, it's a beautiful process. You come out with your baby and trust God that all will be fine.